This is a complete guide from start to finish with every single step and every single thing you'll need to know to escape the soul trap. This guide is based off of sovereignty, which means that you stand on your own. You're not going to rely on anything else. You are the maker of your own freedom. There's a really common flaw in a lot of the soul trap escape guides out there. And that is the fact that they rely on things that are outside of yourself. We're currently inside enemy territory. This isn't our world. And so relying on something outside of yourself while inside enemy territory is a really fucking bad idea. And this includes using either guides or escape paths made by others or by things. For example, a common theory of how to escape is to use the holes in the net theory. But then you need to ask yourself who the fuck made those holes. If you watch NDEs, you notice that a lot of the Afterlife parts are actually still parts of this matrix. And are you really going to trust anything that this matrix presents to you? Now that might make you wonder, why the fuck should I trust this video? And you shouldn't. You should think for yourself. I'm just here to provide you with the information you'll need to do that. Now the actual step-by-step process of how to escape is really fucking simple. You basically just focus your mind and will and you do it. But you probably want me to explain that a little bit deeper. The afterlife functions basically like a lucid dream. You can do and create simply by focusing your intention on doing so. There's a really good movie called What Dreams May Come. It basically functions as a how-to guide on how to control your powers and how to navigate the afterlife. So I would like to show you a couple of clips from it to give you a picture of how things actually function. So in the movie, the main character just died. And he basically spawns in a world that he's creating on his own, but he doesn't understand yet how everything functions. So one of his friends shows up and tries to guide him and teach him how things function.
Nice place you got here.
No. Nice place you got here.
Me?
Sure, you're making all of this. See, we're all pretty insecure at first, so we see ourselves somewhere safe, comforting. We all paint our own surroundings, Chris, but you're the first guy I know to use real paint.
There's so much here she didn't paint. Like that bird.
And he gave you a start, sort of like holding on to handrails. Now you're creating an entire world here, from your imagination, from paintings you love, anything you want.
Why doesn't it move?
It'll move when you want it to. Oh, you go, boy!
Can I make a dive?
You're the painter now. It's your world.
Look at it go! How about maybe turquoise wings?
Turquoise!
And a little mauve! All right! Whoa! I didn't do that.
No, I did. See, when we're together, it's like dual controls. Drink up. Just think it's coffee, and it will be.
Okay. It's coffee. Eat. Acrylic.
Why is it so hard? Look, your brain is meat. It rots and disappears. Did you really think that's all that was to you? Like you're in your house right now. You're in your house. It doesn't mean you are your house. House falls down, you get out and walk away.
But it looks like I rebuilt, huh?
You see a body because you like seeing one. We're seeing what we choose to see. Let me show you something.
real. Where's all the paint?
You don't need it anymore. This is your world now. Thought is real. Physical is the illusion. Drink your coffee.
Needs milk.
Don't push your luck.
Something you need to understand is that nothing can actually hold you here. You're more powerful than anything here. This is why during near-death experiences, the Matrix controllers only use trickery and deception against you. They actually don't have any power over you, and so they cannot use force against you. Sometimes during near-death experiences, people tell their stories and they say, I had to do something, but then when you actually listen to what they say next, they always say shit like, so I agreed, which implies that you need consent in order to actually do something against us. Now, if you're being stupid, you might have some fears or misbeliefs about yourself and what people can actually do against you. This can actually allow other people to influence you against your will. Let's say that you believe that anyone can do anything against you. So you agree that anyone can do anything against you. Because that is what you believe, isn't it? So you agree that anyone can do anything against you. Now this sounds really fucking stupid, but you have to remember that you're the one who creates your own reality. If you allow your beliefs to be misguided, then this kind of stuff can actually happen to you. The movie that I showed you actually has an event like this, where the main character's wife dies, and she believes that she deserves to be inside of hell, and so she creates her own hell for herself without realizing it, which traps her into an endless cycle of just suffering. So you can imagine what someone that doesn't know anything about the afterlife might react with when they experience it. Imagine you die and you're really fucking scared, and then you wake up in this like black void. There's nothing around you. You might fucking imagine some demons or something coming after you, or anything really. It may even be that you create those demons by yourself, by imagining them. Especially if you think you deserve it. This is what you think you deserve, and this is what you're seeing, right? So you agree that that's what you deserve and that's what's coming for you. This is why you need to not limit your own mind, and not just assume things about reality. Keep your mind open and dominate your own will. Do not let it dominate you.
Annie! Chris! Annie! Fantasies aren't what you need right now, Chris.
So another way that this can be a danger to you is if you let your own fantasies or wishes control what you see and believe. Not only could you imagine a hell and place that upon yourself, but you could also imagine things like, I believe in God and I want to live in his kingdom, or some other bullshit. This kind of thing can drive your mind insane. You can be trapped forever, basically, if you don't control your own will and mind. I am an inferior being to this God, and now I will spend eternity living in this fantasy kingdom of this God I made up, drowning in my own delusions. So let's talk about a step-by-step process of getting the hell out of here. Step 1. Stealth shield. So during NDEs, people usually have some sort of distraction appearing before them, be it a loved person that comes to guide them, a pet, a fucking god appearing before them, or whatever really. And the point of the stealth shield is to block out outside influences so that you can focus on what you need to do. There's also the idea of the love bomb, which is basically when people see the light and they feel an incredible amount of love and happy feelings. It's basically like being bombarded by a massive amount of drugs that just makes you feel amazing. And you don't really want to be tempted to go to the light and have to fight against that kind of feeling. So preferably we want to make the stealth shield so that we can block the feeling from even appearing. That way we don't even have to fight it. And of course you'll need to be ready to deal with whatever might show up just in case. So set your mind ready before you die, so that you're ready to say no to whatever bullshit appears, no matter how good it might feel. And just to warn you, people have described the love bomb as more love than they could possibly explain. People have described how the feeling of love is better than the feeling of love they have for their children. It is undescribable. So you need to really set your intentions and be ready. Also remember that you could just create that kind of feeling for yourself once you're in a safe world of your own. So you don't even need the Matrix to provide it for you. So there's no point at all in accepting their love or whatever bullshit they're trying to trick you. Now there's one more thing, and that is the possibility of previous memories or things affecting you once you leave this place. So say you just died and you want to regain your full being, your full powers, your full essence or whatever. And as you think that, you start remembering your past lives or something. And in one of those memories, you learn of a secret way out of the Matrix, which is the only way out here. But it's actually a trap that's been set up for you in a previous life, where you've been learning a bad lesson. Anything could really happen when you leave this place, so you need to be ready and hold fast to your plan out. You don't need any other bullshit, so just stick with this plan and you'll make it out. There's also the possibility of remembering people who you care about, and those people, for all you know, could just be fake NPC characters that they've been feeding you over your lifetimes. Now you remember those characters and you think they're real. So let's go save them, let's fight the Matrix. Well, that's a terrible fucking idea, because now you're staying in here, in their fucking world that they control. So how about you just get the fuck out of here instead of playing their games and all the fucking traps they've been setting for you. Possibly. Remember that the journey of leaving the Matrix is one of an individual. We all make our own way out. You can't save someone else. The only thing you can really do is provide information to people, but they themselves have to do the work. You can't save someone. They need to save themselves. Okay, so step 2. The point of step 2 is to make a secure location, kind of like a safe zone, so to speak, where you're able to take your time and diddly do whatever you need to do. Figure out what reality actually is, how it functions, if there are any limitations, what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, all that kind of stuff, what dangers there might be out there, and making sure that you're ready before you move out and interact with other beings, so that you're not trapped like you were this time. Now, considering that this is a fucking hellscape, there's a good chance there are some other bad beings out there who might not have your best interest in mind. And so it's a very good idea to get ready before you start interacting with the real world, so to speak. Also, this place functions as a nice, secure and solitude area where you could play whatever fucking world games that you would like to do. So you could keep that as your own play thing or whatever when you're not interacting with the real world, so to speak. For example, some people might want to delete their old memories and pretend to be a farmer in a Game of Thrones story or whatever bullshit you want to do. Now, just fucking deleting your own memories while you're playing a game and allowing other people to interact with you while you're doing it would be a terrible idea. And so, in order to even risk that idea, you would need to, make sure you're actually secured and that people can't fuck with you while you're doing it. I would also suggest that if you do the memory wipe game or whatever, that you set up a prerequisite where if something interacts with you, then you immediately regain all those memories. That way, you have a safety net. You can think of different safety nets that you would like to set up just in case. I also want to specify that you need to make sure that this world that you create is not within any parts of this matrix or any other creation. It needs to be your own separate thing, something that only you control and interact with. If you want to make a world that you share with other people later on, then I would suggest that you make a separate world after this one to do those things with. You want to make sure that this is the safe zone where you go, so that nothing can fuck with you and so that you can remain safe. And also on the note of safety, people like, for example, Forever Consciousness Research Channel has his own views and name for this stealth realm, as I like to call it. He's been referring to it sometimes as a void-like realm. And I would like to make a note about the whole time concept, where a lot of people don't believe in time as a real thing. Personally, I don't really understand how there wouldn't be some form of time flow. Maybe not the time flow of this matrix or whatever, but there should at least be some form of time. I just want to make sure that you don't make a void-like realm with no time or anything, which makes it into a stasis chamber that once you enter, you do nothing for all of eternity and you're frozen in time. I just want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes like that, just in case. I don't know if that is even a danger at all, but I wanted to mention it just in case. I do personally think that there is a universal time flow in the true reality of things. As otherwise, how would you be doing one thing and then be doing another thing if there was no sense of time? No time would also conflict with free will as far as I see it, as if there is no time flow, then basically you could change someone's free will plan of action later on, which would imply that they never had any free will to begin with, if you get what I mean. So there probably is a universal flow of time, but you're free to disagree with that. It's just how I see it. Okay, step 3. Step 3, we're gonna keep really fucking simple, and we're not gonna overcomplicate it, and we're just gonna do it. Use your focused intention and will to go to your own realm that you have created, and making sure that it's not some fucking random place outside of this matrix. It's specifically your own created realm. I also want to specify that we're not going to be using portals to do this shit. You're not going to make a portal in front of you in this black void or whatever you're currently in after you die, and then step through the portal. That's a fucking bad idea. Because one, it assumes a 3D space, and then you're interacting with this 3D space, which is inside of the matrix, which means you're playing their game. And they could just as easily make a portal in front of your portal, or some other bullshit trickery to make you go into the wrong thing. So how about we just appear where we want to appear? Basically, poof, a wizard did it. There is no need to complicate this process. In the movie I showed you, basically they just close their eyes and in the next moment they're where they wanted to go. And they can also bring each other to different places by doing so. Now obviously the closing of the eyes is just a metaphor for basically putting down your agreement to go with them, or putting your intention into doing something. You don't need to close any eyes though, as those are just imaginary ideas. So, you don't actually have fucking eyes when you're out there. And also on the note of not having actual eyes, this body that you're experiencing right now is not your true self. And you should also do some work before you die on the ideas of ego, so that you can actually leave this place with yourself intact instead of being mangled up with a bunch of bullshit. You're not some crippled guy rolling in a wheelchair when you die.
I have crippling depression.
You can fucking walk around and look like whatever you fucking want, or not look like anything at all. You could even look like this. We don't want to bring our old learned behavior with us. The bad lessons which the Matrix has teach us during our lives. We're not what they say we are. We are whatever we decide to fucking be. Another important part about this idea is that you don't want to bring the limitations of this body and the current mind powers that you have at the moment with you. You're not as limited in your true state as you are right now. You're not gonna get tired. You're not gonna be fucking distracted because, you know, you can't fucking focus because your meat sack of a brain is forcing you to have an epileptic fucking episode or something. You're a fucking godlike being, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. Okay, step 4. Last step. Now, during NDEs, a lot of people have this saying that they like to bring up where they say, I knew everything. And then they proceed to ask these guides about questions, which implies that they don't actually know everything. Now, my personal idea about why they keep saying this is that when we're in our true state, we're able to just grab whatever information we wish to have. So instead of asking someone for information, you should just take it. This idea is similar to the Akashic Records idea, which is basically that there's a universal field of information or something like that, which you can access in order to gain information from. Now, some people also have the ideas that this field of information is basically just a part of the Matrix construct. So maybe you should be a little bit careful about what you believe, and just accepting information, you know, without thinking about it is a bad idea. My personal guess about the NDEs when people have their life reviews is that the Matrix beings are basically using the Akashic Records, or whatever you wish to call it, in order to play out the life review, since that is a pre-made way, so to speak, to already have a recording of everything you've been doing. Another way to research after you've left this place is to simply observe from a distance. So instead of interacting with other beings, you can observe them without giving your own consent away or interacting with them personally. Just seek out the information, sort of like looking through a telescope. And when it comes down to it, none of us actually have any fucking idea how to do this step. You're just gonna have to figure this shit out on your own. If anyone actually made it this far, they're not gonna be coming back here, which means that, you know, none of us actually know what to do next. So from here on out, you're on your own. So just keep your wits about you and don't be an idiot. Alright, so what if this guy doesn't work?
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
All right.
I guess we're not going to be leaving now, right?
I'm sorry, Newt.
You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
What if they can actually control you against your will? What if the stealth shield doesn't work? What if the teleportation thing to your realm doesn't work? What do you do then? Well, this is actually where the fun part begins. Because if they can do things against you against your will, then that implies that more than likely you can do things against them without their will. Now, my favorite option in this situation is what I refer to as Spirit Nuclear Bomb. Basically, the idea is that you use your intention to create a wave of fucking destructive energy that fucking obliterates anything that tries to fuck with you. Similarly to the weapon in the Stargate series, where they use this like energy wave to destroy the Ori, which is basically a godlike race of people, beings who have ascended into something that would resemble what our true state would be like. Now, I would put in some quotas here about, you know, not fucking killing everyone in sight, you know, because there might be some good beings around that you don't want to hurt. So how about you only make it affect people that fuck with you or something? There's also the chance that you can't actually kill anyone, so, you know, torture beams are also very effective. And if it turns out that these louche beings or whatever come at you and, you know, they fucking feed off of negative energy, then you might want to make like a fucking happy shield or whatever, like in Harry Potter. It might actually be poisonous to them, you know, for all we know. Keep your mind open, you know, and think for yourself. Be ready for anything. Now, lastly, I would like to bring up my own personal theory about who the maker of this matrix actually is and what that maker is. I think that the maker of this matrix is one of us. A fucking godlike being just as we are, who has created this place for some fucking messed up reason. Maybe it's like a prank, maybe he's really sour about living eternity with a bunch of happy, lovey-dovey people, and so he fucking snapped or something. I don't really know. But it would explain why nobody has come back here to rescue us. If we can create our own realms that we control fully and make the rules out of, and other people would need our consent to enter them, then that would explain why nobody has come back here to save us after figuring this shit out. Because they would need the creator's consent to get back in. It also sort of explains all the cuckoo fucking upside down shit this world has. And why all of these things are provided informationally to us throughout movies and different art forms. This is also a reason why you should not be waging war upon the Matrix creator once you leave this place. At least not at first. You should definitely do some studying before doing anything like that. You're basically like a handicapped child right now, and this creator has, spent eternity, preparing or whatever. So how about you don't try and have a big boss battle? Alright, I don't know. Maybe the creator is actually just some demonic fucking reptile creature that feeds off of our suffering and the Lush idea is correct. It's not really any way for me to know. Doesn't really matter. Because as long as you get the fuck out of here, you can always secure yourself and figure this shit out later. So keep your wits about you and let your inner light guide you. If you have any questions about this guide, or anything else really, then feel free to ask. I'll do my best to try and answer. Also, I have a Discord channel that you're free to join in on. If you wanna, just hang out or help out, or learn or whatever really, it can get kinda lonely when you're surrounded by a bunch of fake fucking NPCs and shit. So you're always welcome there, and you don't have to feel like you need to be some fucking guru master to be welcome, alright? You can be the dumbest fucking piece of shit ever and you're still welcome. Believe me, I'm fucking stupid and I'm welcome. Oh yeah, and you should probably check out these channels, the ones in the pictures.